"77p Eggwife" is a dumb, crude, bizarre, yet mostly fun first-person shooter from 77p Studios and publisher Hyperstrange. This is a very strange game that takes a lot of inspiration from the Postal games, but also boomer shooters. According to the Steam page, the synopsis is this: after a sexual mishap, our hero, 77p Egg, finds itself on a quest to find a new wife, while the world is overrun by sentient sewage and a milk-obsessed cult. When I say crude, I truly mean that this game is very crude, packed to the brim with toilet humor and sexual humor. You will come up against the aforementioned milk-obsessed cultists, sewage monsters, evil cows, and angry sentient bubbles filled with milk or urine. Since, for the most part, this is a boomer shooter, you do have a vast and highly varied arsenal. For instance, you get to swing a guitar around as a melee weapon, and you also pick up nail guns that you can triple wield. Beyond that, there is the shit gun, a 7-barreled shotgun that fires, you guessed it, shit, as well as a gun that shoots bleach, a gun that shoots piss, a sniper rifle that slows down time for as long as you are zoomed in, and this fires, drumroll please, tampons. Then there's a crossbow that fires silicone that ricochets all over the place, and a weapon that shoots out electricity, great for dealing with enemies standing in water. However, my favorites would have to be the milk-spewing minigun, which has an ammo supply that is replenished by picking up milk jugs. Makes sense. And the insanely powerful Fertilauncher, a rocket launcher that shoots explosive manure-based fertilizer. And the splash damage that this thing deals is absolutely ludicrous. Probably one of the best rocket launchers I have ever used in a first-person shooter. No joke. Despite all of this amazingly disgusting yet very creative weaponry, I feel like the game's pacing takes away from the sheer power of these guns at times. I realize that developers try to add more variety to gameplay, and in the case of Eggwife, this is done by incorporating puzzle solving, non-linear traversal, and vehicle sections into the campaign. For the most part, I didn't mind these sections, and I get that the game was probably made to be intentionally bad or frustrating at times, but I just would have preferred more combat. Maybe this is just me, but that's how I felt while I was playing through the game. You also have to be very vigilant and observant at times, which is fine, because it isn't always clear as to which direction you need to go in, or which actions you need to take in order to progress. There were definitely a few times when I was confused as to which way I needed to go, and these elements of the game's design probably could have been made better through the use of lighting or landmarks in an intelligent way to guide the player without holding their hand. I just think this would have been a better middle ground. Aside from these issues, however, Eggwife is a very competent shooter and can actually be fairly challenging at times, with a few difficulty spikes popping up admittedly out of nowhere. Despite that, the shooting feels great for the most part, and most of the weapons are very fun, especially when the game throws a bunch of enemies at you. Some of the arena fights can involve some pretty high enemy counts, and it can get pretty intense. But you do move very quickly in this game, so dodging projectiles isn't too difficult if you are a boomer shooter veteran like myself. There is also plenty of environmental interactivity in Eggwife, which is certainly put front and center in the opening level, in which I ended up putting a teddy bear in the oven and left the oven on for too long, which set my apartment on fire. Great stuff. You'll love to see it. And even though the humor is pretty crass and lowbrow, it did get a chuckle out of me every now and then. I even find it pretty funny that whenever you open the game, you have to press 7 to begin, not any key to continue like most games, just the number 7 key. So all in all, I would say that if this game looks and sounds interesting to you, go ahead and give it a go. But if it seems too weird, or like it doesn't offer too much that is new in terms of gameplay, maybe miss this one. In any case, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like and subscribe, and if you hated it, feel free to hit that dislike button. As always, enjoy the rest of your day.